Every child asks it eventually. Why do we have to learn this? Sometimes they ask it out loud, and sometimes they ask it quietly with their eyes and their posture, their disengagement. And if we're honest, parents ask it too. Why this curriculum? Why this pace? Why does education, something meant to nurture, so often feel heavy and anxious or disconnected? And beneath all of those questions is a deeper one. Is the education we've chosen actually life-giving and truly transformative? This question is the heart behind this series. Welcome to the 9 traits of a life-giving, transformative educational model. Now, this is a conversation for parents, no matter what educational path you've chosen: homeschool, private school, public school, classical, hybrid, or something in between. This series is not about promoting one method. It's not about prescribing a model, and it's not about telling families what they should choose. Instead, it's an invitation to step back and ask better questions. Questions like, are our educational choices shaped by Scripture? Are they forming wisdom, character, and conscience? Are they aligned with how God designed children to grow, learn, and be transformed? And over the course of this series, we'll explore 9 traits, 9 indicators that consistently show up wherever education is producing lasting, God-honoring fruit. Each episode will focus on one trait, not an abstract idea, but as a lens of discernment you can apply to any educational model. Now, Scripture tells us, above all else, guard your heart, for everything you do flows from it. Proverbs 4:23. The heart is not a side issue in the Bible. It is the wellspring of life. Yet many educational decisions, good, thoughtful, and well-intentioned ones, are made around these type of outcomes, or achievements, or opportunities, or efficiency. And rarely do we pause to ask, what is this shaping in my child's heart? Education is never neutral. It is always forming loves, loyalties, habits, and vision. The question is not whether education forms the heart, but whether it forms it in ways that lead to Christ-centered transformation. We live in a world that is overflowing with information, and yet it is starving for wisdom. Children are moving from subject to subject, activity to activity, screen to screen, often without being invited into meaning or formation. And parents feel that weight. They're wanting to be faithful. They're wanting to prepare their children well. They're wanting to choose wisely, and yet often they feel uncertain. Across every educational setting, families are quietly asking, are we doing enough, and are we doing the right things? Are we forming hearts, or are we just managing systems and behavior? Those questions aren't signs of failure. They're signs of faithful parental concern. So what do we mean by life-giving and transformative? Well, when we talk about a life-giving, transformative educational model, we are not talking about perfection. We are talking about education that breathes rather than burdens, that forms rather than merely informs, and that disciples rather than simply delivering content. Jesus said, I came that they may have life and have it abundantly, in John 10:10. And transformation was always central to the way that Jesus taught. He taught through story, he taught through relationship, he taught through questions, and he taught through truth that was applied to everyday life. He didn't just transfer knowledge, he was transforming hearts. Biblically speaking, wisdom is not the accumulation of fact. Wisdom is truth received, lived, and embodied. So let's introduce these 9 traits. How do we recognize education that is truly alive and genuinely transformative? Well, over many years of walking with thousands of families, studying Scripture, and watching the long-term fruit of educational choices, certain patterns have emerged. There are 9 traits, 9 consistent characteristics that appear wherever education is aligned with God's design for children. They aren't owned by one philosophy. They're not limited to one model. They are transcendent methods and styles. They are marks of life and transformation. And in the episodes ahead, we'll explore each of these traits, not to tell you what to choose, but to help you to discern whether your choices are biblically rooted and spiritually transformative. Because you as a parent are a steward. And Scripture places a clear responsibility on parents. Deuteronomy 6 and 7 says, "These words that I command you today shall be on your heart. You shall teach them diligently to your children." And education was never meant to replace the family. It was meant to serve it. And that means parents are not simply consumers of education. They are stewards of formation. Life-giving, transformative education flourishes when children are seen as image bearers, not projects. Character and conscience matter as much as competence, and learning is connected to God's redemptive story. Before we close, I want to share something briefly. I want to introduce myself. My name is Lori Lane, and for many years, I've had the privilege of walking alongside parents and educators as they wrestle with these questions. Across countless conversations, one thing has become clear. Families are not looking for perfection. They are longing for clarity, they're longing for wisdom, and they're longing for transformation that is rooted in God's truth. And if this series resonates with you, I share additional conversations and resources through Legacy Parenting, where the focus is helping parents think biblically, clearly, and courageously about education and formation. There's no pressure, just an open invitation to keep walking this path together. And as we begin this journey, here's the invitation. Slow down, look beneath the surface, and ask better questions. And the question isn't, is this the best model? The question is this education life-giving? Is it transformative? And is it aligned with God's design for my child? In the next episode, we'll explore the first of the 9 traits and begin this journey together.